happy Saturday morning. Today started kind of early, maybe like 4:30, but I brought the dog over into bed with me and she was cuddly for a little while, which has really been a godsend in all this. She's been pretty fantastic. We're outside now and she's in no hurry to do anything. Had a nice phone call this morning with a loved one. Yeah, I'm feeling okay so far today. I started to drop a little early in the day and then I just got to thinking about things and I don't know, I'm coming back up. I had a little bit of not a breakthrough, but an idea this morning in terms of time to drag the dog a little bit. You know, I wonder if early on when she wasn't willing to talk to me, you know, she just blew me off for days and said that she wasn't going to see him for 3 weeks, wasn't going to talk to him for 3 weeks. I'm still trying to make sense of all that because that all feels like a lie. And part of me wonders if part of the reason she couldn't talk to me was because she didn't have her story straight. As I'm starting to figure out that maybe this affair started before the Amsterdam trip, maybe she didn't know how she wanted to spin the lie or spin the story to tell me, either to save me from pain or to just make herself look okay, depending on if I'm using hopeful brain or logical brain. I just end up wondering more about what the story is, and I'll never know, but I think we can be pretty confident it started earlier than I thought. I'll be back. Good morning. I just did 7.6, which was good. It was a solid run. Like, it went better than I thought it would. The day is gorgeous. Yeah, it was. Hey, there's the El Cortez. It was good. Like, I feel really good after that run. I just need to keep doing more of those to hopefully PR the rock and roll. I had one little lapse while running. I was running along and my brain just decided to shut off and made me think that she would be here when I got home. It just, I don't know why. It's like it can't deal with the problem. It can't make sense of the breakup, so it just decides, yeah. So I was running and I was running with my running partner who's a friend, and then I thought like, oh, I'll go home and see her, and then it was like, whoosh. No, it's not that. And that, I don't know if it's like self-sabotage or like a coping mechanism. I don't know what it is, but it sucks. Because it just drops your emotions down a little bit, like, nope. But I'll bounce. I have a lot planned for today, so I just focus on the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and yeah, today will be okay. I don't have as many plans for tomorrow, so I need to start filling up that dance card, but I'm gonna shower and give the dog a bath and trim her nails and then go to the farmer's market. So yeah, I have a lot to do, and ooh, you have to be at the farmer's market in an hour, so I'm gonna get going. I hope your Saturday is going well and you're positive and you're doing okay. I really do. All right, here we are walking down to the farmer's market in Little Italy. I definitely feel kind of drawn to Little Italy. Of course, right? Like, if there's one place I could live in San Diego, how about the nicest place? I realize that's dumb, but walking away from my house down to Little Italy feels okay. And the 2 apartments I liked were in Little Italy and felt okay. So who knows what's gonna happen. I think I definitely have, like, it feels like I should move on down there. Like, going up to Golden Hill was really cool last night, but it felt removed, like from the top of a hill, I could see downtown, and I missed home, and in a really subtle way, but it was sort of like, I don't think I'd like to live in a place where downtown is in the distance, if I can help it. I like to be part of things. I've also been thinking a lot about why this is so hard, and not just the betrayal and the abandonment and the way in which all this was handled, which is terrible. Like, there has been no respect in this breakup, for sure. She has managed it about as poorly as you possibly could and treated me with as much disrespect as one could treat a person, never mind her soulmate and her husband who she loves. I think what's really hard, and what I think about a lot, is my sense of okay-ness. Like, I don't know for a fact that I'll be okay. And I don't know where that comes from. I don't know if that's a strength thing, or if that's a connection with other people thing, or if it's a financial thing, or like what makes you feel okay. I definitely don't feel okay, and that could just be the insecurity of being alone. I've definitely had moments in this process where some have been better and some have been worse. So I don't know, I'm trying to figure that out, and when I do, I think that will be some kind of epiphany. Like, what will it take for me to be okay? I think part of the fear is that I really like my life. Like, I liked having someone. I liked having a person to come home to, and not to answer to, but feel like I was cared about. You know, so acting with complete autonomy is strange, and it's never been a goal. And it's not something I'm used to. It's not something she's used to either. Like, thinking about her history, she's just gone from person to person to person. She as much as she's telling me I can need to be alone, I think that girl needs some alone time to figure out her priorities. Or maybe, who knows what she's doing. I also think it comes down to financial stuff plays into it because, you know, we moved out here with an arrangement that worked for us. And it has worked for 7 years. And then to be criticized for parts of that not working, like we could have dealt with that, we could have talked about it. You know, we built a life with that understanding that was very comfortable, it was very, very good. And now to be told I should make my own way and have my own stuff, like, I'm pretty sure I can make it work. I'm just not confident. I don't have the confidence of like, well, the heck with her, I got it, like I can make this all work, I'll be fine. I don't have that confidence of I'll be fine. I'm pretty sure I'll be fine, but my life won't be the same as it was, and I haven't embraced the differentness yet. I guess that's what it is, like embracing whatever new life looks like. Well, I am getting on to Little Italy, gonna meet a friend and, I don't know, get some food maybe. All right, we'll catch up with you later. Thanks for listening though. See ya. That went really nicely. Highlights. We got to Salt and Straw 2 minutes before they opened. There was no line. We waited and we got to sample all of the new flavors. They're all floral based. I had a rhubarb based one that was incredible and a ricotta, like a walnut ricotta that was really, really good. So that was a total treat from a dietary standpoint. Probably not the best, but I did run 7.5 miles today, so hopefully a little of it comes out in the wash. No regrets, you know? Having a friend over for dinner on Tuesday, so I got some things for that dinner. It was just really cool to hang out with my friend and walk around, and the weather's perfect. Like, it's a perfect day. It just feels good to be alive. I'll take that too, you know, just being happy to be. They're building new apartments right in Little Italy that are amazing. Like, you know, when they say on the side, luxury rentals, you'll never be able to live there, but God, it would be so cool to have the cash to live in a little piazza in Little Italy over the fountain with views of the bay. Like, that's another time in which you're like, I could probably be okay here. Sure, anybody could. Even those brief moments of connecting with what your future could be, that maybe it's like what I was talking about on the way in, just that little bit of okayness. Like, what I don't like is that my feeling of potential okayness is linked with money. I should be able to be okay anywhere. So I need to do some work on figuring that out because I don't have money. I teach high school. So I think my conception of okayness needs to change. I'll work on that. But for a moment I imagined living in a beautiful place in Little Italy and I could see being okay there. So there's hope. Not a lot, but there's some kind of hope somewhere. Cool, I'm going home. I'm gonna put my groceries away, and I wanted to start this video by asking you a question. What I wanted to ask was, what should I do? But it dawns on me that you won't see this for weeks after it happens. My problem is this. I was home, I felt good, I was doing video stuff, I was okay. And then she texted, and she just said, "Can I see Winnie tomorrow? Question mark, question mark." And even just that text from her hits me in the gut. So I feel like what I need to do is tell her, I can't talk to you anymore. I can't be in communication with you anymore. And I don't know how to deal with the Winnie part of it because that will seem cruel even though it's not. It's just that any interaction I have with her is bad for me. So how do I manage that? I don't know. That's what I'm thinking about right now. I'm driving up to the barn to go to a little party, so hopefully that's a good thing. Yeah, that's what I'll be thinking about. How do I manage the dog thing in the face of telling her I can't see you anymore, I can't talk to you anymore, I can't text with you because every interaction we have is bad. Well, that worked out amazingly well. I stopped in and saw people, and then I went out to find other people I know, and I ended up asking the question, how do horse people feel about, how do like jumper people feel about horse racing? It led to a really big conversation amongst a couple people I hadn't really talked to too much before, so that was really interesting. And then while I was there, another person who I really like, and we've had good conversation, bantery conversation. I was talking with him and I just made the offhanded comment of, you know my marriage situation. And he was like, oh, I heard something about a trainer. So I told him the story. And the response was amazing, just in terms of how appalled he was at the situation and how inappropriate it all is and how terribly it was handled. And when you tell someone new the story, it does remind you of how horrific this situation is, just how not good it is. It's just the worst. So yeah, I really appreciate the affirmation. It was a long conversation, and he gave me a lot to think about, and yeah, said a lot of really funny things that cracked me up that I'll probably put in my journal, but I'm not going to put here. But the feeling I get coming away from that is a feeling of support and strength. I soften sometimes and think like, maybe we could be amicable, maybe this and that. And he was sort of like, this is the worst, like, why would you want her back? And yeah, it's definitely given me something to think about, because none of this has been kind or respectful or appropriately handled or good for anyone but her, really. I know she thinks she's doing it well, but she isn't. And she's not reflecting on the situation. Not in the way I'm reflecting on the situation. She's thinking about her pretty darn exclusively. So I'm glad I came to the barn. I'm glad for that conversation. Whatever universal forces sort of have been crushing me lately, I was granted a kindness in that conversation and that person. So I'm really grateful at the moment. I need to dash home and take the dog out, and then dash back up here but farther to go to the Grand Prix tonight, which a lot of the people from the barn are going to, and they're like, you should come sit with us, we have extra seats. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna hang out with people at the Grand Prix and learn more about jumping, and I'm thrilled. I'm super, super thrilled. I'm turning around and getting back in the car and going back up to the racetrack. Here's why tonight is important. Early on in this terrible process of getting broken up with, literally 2 days after she told me she had feelings for him, I had to go up here to where I'm going tonight exactly and mentor the robotics team for my school. So I had very little information to go on aside from the fact that my wife had feelings for somebody else and he had feelings for her, and she was moving out. That's it. That's all I had. And she told me she wasn't going to talk to him for 3 weeks until the end of the month, when her horse would have to be dealt with. And I spent Wednesday night, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at the fairgrounds at Del Mar. And it was torture. Because the robotics kids don't really need my help, I just need to be there to supervise. So I sat in the bleachers and watched them to make sure they're okay and safe and doing everything. But it's a really hands-off team. So all I had was time. And the day started, like, we left at 6:30 in the morning and we didn't get home till 6 or 7 at night for 3 days in a row. It was just this immense test of patience and my ability to pass time, because what do you do? What do you do when your wife is leaving you and won't talk to you and doesn't live with you? Nothing makes sense and your world is falling apart, and you have to go to work and try to be a cheerful supporter of your team, and all you want to do is run and scream and cry. Tonight will be the first time I've been back there, and my hope is that to return to it with friends, it'll be okay. Like, maybe I can reclaim the space and not have it be this hellish PTSD. It was really awful. So I'm hoping I can reclaim it as fun and start to scab over some of those terrible memories I have from there. Not to say the kids were bad. It just, like, I was bad. I was in a bad place and I wasn't good for my people. And I feel such guilt about that, because nobody deserves that. Like, I should be good, and I wasn't. If any of you are watching this, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry I couldn't tell you what was going on, and I'm sorry I was not as good as I could have been for you. So I just got to Del Mar. Guess who I exited the highway 2 cars behind? Yeah, it's her. And then I was right behind her at the light, and I managed to get in here before her and park, and as I was walking down the aisle, she drove past me and gave me a, hey, wave. So I don't know if I'm going to be reclaiming ownership of this thing tonight, because my wife is here. I'm not entirely surprised. I'm just sort of of course she's here. Super. So now this will be whatever this thing is. I will keep you posted. Every Saturday I seem to see her on the highway, I guess. Cool. I'll catch you later. Yeah, what a night, huh? The show was great. I had a really great time. I met up with people from the barn. I sat with a group of people, and that was great. It was like a community of people, and my teacher was 2 to the left of me, and it was cool. Like, I felt like part of a group, and that was awesome. I saw one of my barn friends, actually, who still has horses in training with my wife's boyfriend. But she like gave me a big hug and was glad to see me, and that was awesome. And then I saw another person I know sitting out front, so I sat on the wall and talked to him for a little bit because he was waiting for people to give tickets to. And as we sat there, she came walking down and was sort of like, hi. And then it was just awkward. And as she walked away, my one barn friend was like, oh, she's your wife. That's who she is. So I have this pet fantasy right now that she might come to the house tonight. And here's why. She texted me in the afternoon today asking if she could see Winnie tomorrow. And I didn't know what to say, so I didn't answer. And then later in the day, she wrote, hi, ? And I still didn't answer. And then I saw her tonight. So I just wonder, like the pet fantasy is like, is she just gonna show up here? Like, she knows I'm around, she knows where I've been, we're on the same schedule. It's late, so she has to drive pretty far north to her new home. But if a knock came on the door, I wouldn't be surprised. But see, since I've been thinking about it, it probably won't happen. That's it. I know so much more this year than I did last year when I went with her, that it was way more exciting, and I got more of a sense of what people were trying to do. And I'm not gonna claim to like get it all, but I know enough where I was like, all right, wow, ooh, geez, that was scary. Like, they could have died. So that was really cool. I really like this horse thing, and to feel not necessarily included, but accepted by at least people I know who know me. That feels amazingly good. So I'm excited to go to the barn tomorrow and have another lesson and just see those people. It's good. That's a really good thing. I thought I was going to be really distracted by thoughts of her throughout the evening. Like, I thought I'd be wondering where she was sitting and what she was doing. I really didn't. I was really into the show, and I was really into talking to people, and I had a good night, even though I was sharing space with her. So that's good. I'm thinking very much about what to do going forward, and I'll sleep on it tonight, but I think I need to not see her anymore. I think that's the smart move. I don't do well when I have contact with her, so I need to finish out the school year well, and I think I need to do this to be okay. Will it make summer harder? Probably. But only the sticky part of that is the dog and the rent she will demand for me. But it was weird seeing her from a distance. I was like, that's going to be her. Of course it's going to be her. And then I ended up right behind her in line to park. And I was singing the Hamilton soundtrack. And I just had this moment where I was like, so what do we do? If I stop singing the Hamilton soundtrack, I'm just going to be sitting here staring at the car. And then she'll notice me staring at her. And then it'll be creepy and weird. So I was like, it. And I just kept singing, and it was fun. I was like, what does anything matter at this point? It's not like she wants me or misses me, so whether or not I'm singing Hamilton doesn't matter. I left and I saw her car was still parked there, and then my goal was to just get out without seeing her again. I was really built up today by talking to that person who, when I would tell them things, they would then just tell me how terrible it was and how awful and how unforgivable. And I think my tendency is to forget painful things so I can move on. And to be reminded of that once again, like how terrible this situation was good for me to remember, like, I didn't do anything wrong. She did all of this, and here we are. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that experience. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you later. Okay.